Yes, I'm another one of those many Tom Nod taggers looking for MH370. I was satisfied I found a piece, and my current interest is in debris and survivors. But we'll go back to the beginning. Here's my favoured bit of wreckage. It might be a bit dark for some to see. I'll show you a lighter version in a minute. I first tagged this on the 30th of March. The image was taken on the 26th of March. I believe this to be a bit of the cockpit hull. The bit on the top's just flipped out from the back somewhere. Bits of window frames, fuselage, bit of the metal framework from inside which has popped out. It looks bigger because it's closer to the surface than that bit down there. I'll show you a lighter version. That's the link there. That's its map number 198X5YJI. And yes, I spent a lot of time looking. Here's a lighter version so you can see it better. The fuselage at the back appears to have some letters on. Appears. Things can be deceptive. I took that to be SIA though. The A is a bit mangled. There's lots of mangled bits there. Metal, the framework, round things, strange things, things floating through the ocean. But yeah, I believe MH370 did end up at the bottom of the southern Indian Ocean. But unfortunately nobody was willing to fish it up. I did rush off with enthusiasm and tell Digital Globe and Tom Nod, but I was ignored. I tried AMSA several times and was ignored. Here's the link. If you want to have a look for yourself, there's plenty of wreckage down there. There's other wreckage as well. It's not all from our plane, but if you want to have a look, it would be worth your while. You might solve some mysteries. But yeah, moving on from that, since I have to be quick, here was my reply to the third attempt to get attention from AMSA, which is the Australian Maritime Safety Authority. Yep, they play it very safe over there. No, it was basically a brush off, and I was told to just tag it and leave identification to the experts. Well, the experts didn't do very well, did they? Here's the old map number from before Tom Nod changed their mapping system. 217640. Pop it in Tom Nod map locator. Up here, press go, Indian Ocean, and it will give you the location on the map. There's the coordinates there. That's the coordinates of the map tile. They want to give you the exact coordinates. They're not that good, unfortunately. And here's Google Earth. That's the wreckage site there. No, that's the mapping one. This is what I did while I was waiting for something to happen, since the official search team was off north on a wild goose chase. I spent my time working out how to get onto all the surrounding maps to see what I could find. I investigated my mystery, which was very interesting, but I'll let you do that for yourselves. There's debris to chase over on these ones, especially in the lower area there. Hints. That's HMA a success. I'll show you that when I get to the real Google Earth. This image is actually has two numbers. It's the same same image as far as I could tell. And HMAS success will also appear on 19G. But yeah, they're the image numbers, and then you're just putting the X coordinates and the Y coordinates. So X1, Y1 will always get you into the top left hand corner. I usually just pop it in whatever I'm searching and hope for the best. It usually gets there. But yeah, all those interested in chasing around this southern area themselves, they're the numbers you'll need. Hopefully you can see them. Here's the real Google Earth. Here's the debris the media got all excited about, which didn't get fetched and wasn't really anything to do with our plane anyway. Here's HMAS success. Our wreckage site, which is on that 198 map. On the 24th they were flying over there as well. I believe they probably got to this area on the 23rd. I recently attempted to chase that warship to see where she'd been, but didn't have much luck. Some of the debris was going towards WA. It is also possible that it was coming from an area over here and not going up that way, but not enough evidence. Most of the debris went east. It had already sunk by the time the Aussies got there. They found it way too late. That shows you where it is. So, and don't for a second believe what they're telling us that they're going back there. They're not going back there. They're only going as far as there. But I'll get to that later on. And here's a Chinese fishing boat, but more on her later as well. Right, so while I was off exploring mysteries and things, I also organised a little tag a wreck campaign just to see if the crowdsourcing would work on this. The image was way too big, it was way too dark here, and because the plane wasn't in one piece, most people wouldn't think it was a plane. But eventually it got enough votes. Unfortunately, it never got on the official site to get more attention. It seems someone was censoring the results just to ensure nothing strange got through, or no bits of plane. This was both. It never had a chance. So, in my quest for better images that I could use to try and tempt the media, I eventually ended up back where I started at Digital Globe. These are the other images they took of this area. These ones here were taken after the official search had already moved. They actually extend a fair way past this area. The Tom Nod images are just in here. They're separate to these. These are different ones. You can only get low resolution images. You can't get the nice high ones like what you have on the crowdsourcing platform. And I was very interested in this area. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to browse imagery for this catalogue ID. You guessed it. All those green ones, you're not allowed to browse. I'm sure there's probably a logical explanation for that. I certainly didn't take a logical explanation. I took it that they were keeping the good stuff for themselves. Here's all the ones you're not allowed to browse. Now what you can see from this, if you go down and check the dates, I can't see it there, but I believe the earliest, no, 19th we've got there. Just going to give me, I thought there was one from the 16th, but no, it appears to be the 19th of March. Give them a couple of days to analyse it, and they probably knew where the plane was before the official search team ever got down there. But they did go straight for this area. It was only later, with some tempting debris, that they got down a bit further and went over a bit. But no, despite all the later calculations that disprove this area, they went straight for there. You can see it here. There's the groove there. The little triangle thingies up here. So yeah, they went over all that area just to check what was on the surface. Here's the new area. Now, their preferred area is up here. This is actually the 6th arc. They're on the 7th arc now. But yeah, their preferred area is on this side of the line. They might come down a little bit further. You know, got to waste as much time as possible. It might take them 2 years to get down there. And the furthest they're going to go is just going to chop off this corner of that forbidden area. Likely by the time they get there, there'll be nothing left there anyway. Here's a bigger look at the map. Now this area has been explored fairly extensively. They did a surface search. Digital Globe did a search. And if you come up here, oh, yeah, those crazy Tom Nod people also did a search. So they're pretty sure they're not going to find anything interesting. No bits of plane up there. Maybe there might be something else interesting, but I don't think they're going to catch anyone napping. Now with their redone calculations, they're saying the plane couldn't have got any further than their blue area, their area that they'll go if they have to go lower. It'd be interesting to see if anybody finds any debris washing up in Victoria or Tasmania. Can we actually drag them down further? They might yet discover it. Right, back to our debris, which is what I'm really interested in. Now we're over here, and there are 3 currents that affect here. I should think someone was probably hoping the debris would go in that one and just swirl around forever and be lost, or just keep going east and just keep going around that way and get lost. They're going to be disappointed. Now most of it's gone east, and with our winter southwesterly winds and ground swells and things, it's coming close to the shore now. A few more good storms should bring it up, and hopefully when the debris comes in, there will still be some lifeboats. It's a long time to be floating around Australia, 4 to 5 months, but indications are that they're especially blessed. Now, this is from the Digital Globe site. Now this is where our Tom Nod images were, and this is the area that was taken after the official search moved north. That's the start of it. And you see they've moved a fair way down, starting to move down towards the coast. They're watching for something. Now, if it was debris, you would think they would have been tracking the ones going WA way. I think they were keeping an eye on some life rafts. Just a suspicion. There's been lots of suspicious activity during this investigation. Now, back to our Chinese fishing boat. You remember her? She was perched down here, waiting. I mean, maybe she was keeping an eye on some local marine life? Or maybe she was waiting for something else to just drift by. Maybe she was trolling for something. But I thought trawlers had to actually move. She hardly ever moved. So here she is. She left on the 1st of July. I didn't actually notice at first. I was so used to seeing her there, I just looked at the coordinates and assumed she was still there. She escaped on me though. Now I tracked her down on the sailwx.info site. They have a longer record of just how long she was there. I hadn't actually realised you could track ships. Now that goes down to the 22nd of June, and there she is. She's kept the same coordinates, just about. But we can go back even further. Oh. Go down. Right, 12th of May. There she is. She's already parked at those coordinates. Anchored there, and nothing's going to make her move. That was a long way to be staying there. What was she doing? Now, I think some of the Chinese relatives could maybe ask what she was doing there. Unless she's vanished like everything else does. But I haven't heard any stories of any Chinese fishermen finding any wreckage. All I heard was that Facebook scam. But maybe there's something going on there too. So yeah, swirling around. Nope. Going this way and that way. So from the west coast, WA, south, along here, there's been signs that there's action in Bass Strait. Strangely enough, the east coast of Tasmania, top of Tasmania, and there's been signs in the satellite imagery, even New South Wales. Yesterday they were looking up at Queensland. Didn't seem to be anything up there yet, but they're getting suspicious. I have no idea. I suppose they would go up there and then it would go over to Queensland. They've been looking at New Zealand as well. There were signs of some activity, but nothing really to connect it with our plane debris. But yeah, so we have the question: were there no survivors? We were told there was beyond doubt no survivors. Do we believe them? Now the Australians are trying to tell us they died before they even got here. Trying to convince us a bit too hard, I think. Even the insurance firm is paying out on the insurance. That's unusual for an insurance firm to pay out with no bodies. Maybe they just don't want any survivors. Be a bit inconvenient, maybe. They seem to have gone to a lot of trouble to hide this plane. They don't want the plane found. What would happen to any survivors that were found? But now, the debris and the survivors should be close enough to the coastline that we don't need any warships and we don't need any government help. Just Joe Blow on his fishing boat, or some amateur pilot going out for a joyride. Keep an eye out and see what you can see. Maybe you can help get this miracle ashore, because it's going to take a miracle to get them ashore. It seems just about every government on the planet has something in for them. Now here's a nice little phrase I really liked. Don't worry, God is never blind to your tears, never deaf to your prayers, and never silent to your pains. He sees, He hears, and He will deliver. Yes, well, I think someone refused delivery. Miracles seem to worry our governments. They don't like things they don't understand. But we will see. So keep your eye on the coast. Just check out what washes up. The best we can hope for at this point is that the whole plane washes up in little bits, as well as survivors still hanging on. Because nobody's going to go fish for that plane. No, they've turned their back on that. They'll cover it up until the cows come home. But I don't agree that our survivors have to suffer just because they've got the collywobbles. Oh, gee, something happened and they can't explain it. I don't think any of them had anything to do with what happened. It was an accident. But they're determined to cover it up. So, even if we don't ever find out what happened to the plane, even if the survivors don't remember what happened, still it would be nice for them to be reunited with their families. After all, a lot of prayers were said and a lot of tears were shed, and it will be all for nothing if none of the survivors get to come home. So please, while you're out on the beach catching the next wave or going on your next fishing trip, just keep an eye out. We're not asking you to move mountains or part the sea. Somebody else took care of that. All we're asking is to keep your eyes open, and if you see anything, grab it before somebody else grabs it and vanishes it. Thanks for listening.